allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you for coming out today. It's a nice day out. I'm running a yard sale as we speak in front of my house, so my sister's handling that at the moment. Just a couple quick housekeeping notes. Daniel, did you want to bring up about the nomination process?
Let's do that after the speaker does her thing.
Okay. Our next meeting, just to put on your agenda for your calendars, is October 20th, and I believe that's going to be down here, or this. I think it's down here in the basement. No, I'm sorry, not October 20th. I couldn't get October 20th, which is good because I believe that falls on the end of a Jewish holiday. So it's going to be October 27th. So October 27th is the next meeting of the Brooklyn Tea Party. Currently, we don't have a guest speaker. If not, well, we'll just talk amongst ourselves. That's fine. All right, and with that being said, I'd like to introduce the newly elected Conservative Party leader of Kings County, my good friend Fran.
Thank you so much for inviting me here this afternoon. Just to tell you, actually, I'm pretty much celebrating a one-year anniversary now. It was about this time last year that I was elected the chairman of the Kings County Conservative Party, and it was my honor to do so. And I'm happy to see Cartrell Gore here, who's one of our members and is on the executive committee here this afternoon as well. So, many of you are familiar with the Conservative Party and what we do and how we act within the political parties in New York State. I know that you had our state chairman, our newly elected state chairman, speak previously, Jerry Kassar. In addition to being the county chairman now, I was for many years the vice chairman with Jerry Kassar. I've also been for a number of years now and continue to be the state treasurer. So I have positions on both the county level and on the state level, and work closely with the state party as well. I just want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on in the state, in the city, and in the country, and how it's affecting us and all of you here. And actually, the Tea Party was formed, and the movement was formed to fight back on what was happening to us and the populace. And that's happening again. And we need to have an uprising again. We need to fight back again. If you look at what's happening in our national government, I mean, we have our president, and that's great. But beyond that, the Congress is a problem. We're right now, sitting with a Congress that's every day looking to go into our pocket, looking to take our freedom, every chance they can. They want to be called progressives. They're not progressives. They're actually regressives. Because everything they do is regressive. They want to take from you. They want to limit your liberty. Everything they're doing is regressive. I call them the ultra-left. We shouldn't be calling them progressive. We should call them the ultra-left because that's really what they are. And they're proud of being socialists. They talk about it and say that they're proud of it. So why not be identified as a socialist? Why not be identified as an ultra-leftist? Because that's what they are.
Absolutely.
What's happening here, in Congress is that we need to move forward. Okay, and the way we're going to move forward is by electing people that represent our views, right? So the New York 11 district, which is the district that takes in Staten Island and Brooklyn, we're going to play a very big role. The Conservative Party plans to play a very big role in electing somebody back to that seat that's going to represent us. We're out there right now supporting Nicole Malay-Takas. Many of you are familiar with her. She's been an assembly member for many, many years, and she also ran for mayor. You got it right there. You got an article right there. She is an excellent candidate. Right now, she's going out and she's fundraising, but not only is she fundraising, she's out there at every event. She's doing whatever she can to get her name out there and to promote herself, to promote the fact that we need somebody in there that's going to represent us. Okay? We don't have anybody in the city right now that represents our views in Congress. No one. Zero. Zilch. We need to at least have one, and we have an opportunity to get that seat back. And we have to work to do that. And the Conservative Party plans to play a prominent role in doing that. In addition to that, locally, next year is a big election year, okay? We have not only the presidential election, we have Congress, of course, as I spoke of, but we also have the state legislature. As you know, the Republicans lost the majority in the state Senate, and we've been suffering ever since with the kind of legislation that's been passed, okay? So we need to really hone good candidates that can run against people that are in office right now that are once again going to represent us. We need to somehow, possibly maybe take back the Senate if we can. But next year is very, very important. And once again, the Conservative Party is going to play a role in trying to elect people that are going to represent us. Right now, I'm actually interviewing candidates. I've already started the interviewing process this month, and we're going to be continuing to interview people for state assembly, state senate, Congress. We're going to continue to do that. And the reason why we're doing it so early is, as you know, the petitioning process changed last year.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
When does that start?
So it starts again in late February, early March, when we get a petition. So in order for us to have candidates on the ballot that are going to be on the petition, right, we need to start interviewing them now. So I'm looking for good candidates. We have some good candidates already that have come forward and that we've been interviewing, and hopefully we're going to have a full slate of people running in next year in November, because we plan on having a full slate. We're not going to have any empties. We want to have people, fighting against what's happening right now to us in this city, in this state, in this country. Speaking about the city and bringing it back, of course we have the city council. We have very few representatives in there that speak for us. Well, the Conservative Party, we also have Calvin Yeager, who's a Democrat but is endorsed by us and is very, very, very conservative. And actually, he's been fighting against a number of things that are happening in the council.
What area is he from?
I'm sorry?
What area?
Park, that area?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, Calvin Yeager. But he with
Him and Simca are in that assembly.
Simca, Augustine. Simca's another good representative.
Simca's the guy that
He took
replaced
Joe
Joe
Biden,
Biden, right?
Correct. He's another good
He
representative.
took Joe Biden.
Correct. He's another good representative that we endorse as well. So, we have some voices out there. They're not many, but they're trying to fight back. Then, of course, we have this mayor that hopefully at some point he can't run again because he's term limited. But we have to come up with a candidate when that time comes to really take back this city. People, for the first time, there's been an out-migration out of New York City. People are leaving New York City, and it's showing in the statistics, okay, that people are leaving the city. Why are they leaving? Because they're feeling choked. Why are they feeling choked? Because at every turn they take, they're being taxed. At every turn they take. If you own a home, your property tax is sky-high. It's out of whack. You have a water bill. You have rent that people can't afford. You have all sorts of fees and regulations out there if you're a small business owner and you can't run your business. You have tolls going up that are just astronomical. So you can't afford to live. People can't afford to live here. They're just going to leave. And that's what's happening. We don't want them to leave. We want good people that are productive people to stay here and to make New York great. Okay? Yes?
You were talking about interviewing people.
Yes.
So we can have good people to vote for. What about the public advocate?
Well, right now is an election this November, right? With Joe Borelli running.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I like Joe Borelli. We're supporting Joe Borelli. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, absolutely. You're right. This year there is an election, and I'm sorry for overlooking that because it's been so quiet. And it's really an off election year. It just so happens that we have that public advocate race because of Tish James becoming Attorney General, so it forced a special election. So I apologize. You're 100% correct. Councilman Joe Borelli is one of the stalwarts in the City Council. He's outspoken. He's terrific. We endorsed him for the public advocate race, and hopefully he'll do well this November. But yeah, he's one of the good guys. 100%, he's one of the good guys. And those are the kinds of people that we need to have out there. They're not afraid to take on the ultra left. They're not afraid to speak out. He's one of the guys that speaks out continuously. Yeah, he speaks out continuously. He's very good. He's very good. And the other aspect, so we're talking about the finances and how, they want to redistribute our wealth, so that, you make money and they give it to somebody else. We don't, obviously that's not something that we support here. But that's happening on the federal level, the state level, and the city level. And we have to do something to stop that. The only way you can stop any of this is by electing people that think the way we do, that say, no, we don't want socialism. No, we don't want a redistribution of wealth. No, we want to make sure that our law enforcement officers are respected. That's what we want. I mean, look what's happening in New York City with our, police officers. I mean, the total disrespect, the total disregard for them, that's a breakdown. People, I'm old enough to remember, and maybe some of you are too, what New York City was like in the 70s and the 80s. It wasn't pretty. And part of that was the fact that there was just disorder. People had no respect for law and order. They had no respect for anything. And it's happening again. It's starting to deteriorate slowly, slowly, slowly. We have to stop that deterioration. We have to support our law enforcement. I mean, not only law enforcement, they're now attacking EMS workers that are actually helping them in an ambulance. So there's something wrong
It was
here.
on the news. They were fighting. The officer told him to back up.
Yeah.
Because he was laying on the floor when he got in that
Right.
accident over the sidewalk.
Yeah,
And the officer wanted to do his job, or her, sorry.
right.
And it got out of hand. People were getting out of control.
Yeah.
Were disrespecting him.
Yeah.
And that was out of control. I was ashamed of that.
I mean,
How are you doing that?
I mean, you could see in the police officers, they feel like they have no support from City Hall. They feel like they have no support anywhere, and they're trying to do their job and they can't. They're doing the best that they can.
Yes.
I mean, the suicide rate, it breaks my heart, the suicide rate that we have amongst police officers. It really breaks my heart. It's
What's
so-
the rate?
I'm sorry?
What is that rate?
Well, there was something like 15 of them this year or whatever committed suicide.
I think it's a little more than that
You know.
we're talking about.
So, I mean, that's bad. There shouldn't be one.
I agree.
Okay, there shouldn't be one. So, what I'm saying today is that we need people like all of you in here to really get geared up for next year, to make sure that we're out there and that we're running good candidates, that we're pushing good candidates, and that we're getting some people elected that are going to represent us and push back to what's happening in this country, in this state, in this city. Because if we don't, it's going to be very hard to turn it back. It's very hard to turn something back. It's easier to stop it while it's happening. So, the Conservative Party in Brooklyn, as I said, will be running full slate of candidates next year. I'm looking forward to it. If any of you want to get involved with us, I'd be happy to have you join us and get involved with us in any way that you wish. If some of you want to re-enroll in the Conservative Party, I'm always welcoming of that. Whatever I can do to be helpful to any of you here, I'm happy to do so. And if you'd like, I'll take some questions.
Okay, do we have any questions from the
Where
audience?
is your headquarters?
We're on 78th Street, 5th Avenue,
Okay.
in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn.
Okay.
That neighborhood is very Muslim.
It's been increased, yes.
It's like my dermatologist is around the corner, and I was sitting on a bench on Fifth Avenue. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And all the stores have the old names, like Moshe or kind of bagels, this, that, and it's all Muslim.
Well, there's
So
been
how do you feel about
there's
your
been an
office
influx of
being
different.
in that area? Is there a...
Oh, people are allowed to
Yeah.
go wherever they want.
Yeah, I mean, there's been an influx of all different
Different,
immigrant groups that have come into the area.
Because I'm not
so-
PC, so I'm just asking, because...
Well, it's America, we can't say how you can't live
It's
here.
not America, it doesn't...
Oh.
Well,
You
I
can't.
have a question.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I brought up socialism before you came in, so we were on the same page. Anyway, so it's that food co-op. The Park Slope Food Co-op in Park.
Yes.
And I was there a few weeks ago, and all of a sudden I noticed that the neighborhood's starting to look seedy. Now, this was Park Slope. It was a gem of Brooklyn. And there was entrepreneurship, there was all kinds of creative things. And I said to myself, maybe the Park Slope Food Co-op is taking away business because they work on a wholesale basis. And I have their newsletter, and they're talking about all kinds of political things to do with food. and it's like you're supposed to eat your food with politics. It's a very strange situation that they have developed, and they're very, very powerful. So if you think about all the numbers that come from the co-op, which is 17,000, how do you fight back against the numbers of Democrats? Because you cannot be an open Republican.
You start by getting people elected on our side of the ledger. That would be called starting.
Yes.
Start by reading this.
I mean, look, there's no doubt that we're all outnumbered,
Okay.
by enrollment. We know that, but that doesn't mean we can't be successful. That doesn't mean we can't. If you have the right message and it's the right time, you can definitely get
If
people
I
elected.
went to the food co-op with that message, do you know what would happen to me?
Well, keep in mind, we had Giuliani get elected in the city. Remember when we thought it was no way coming back at that point?
Right.
Graffiti all over the trains. Right, but yeah, but law and order issues, huh? What happened?
Let's get another Giuliani.
Leftist on that one? Certainly wasn't. He cleaned up the city, and that's for Republicans, Democrats, whoever the heck
Look,
you
we're
are.
not going to be successful everywhere. We know this. This is New York City. But that doesn't mean we can't be successful in some places. And by being successful in some places gives us a voice in those bodies. And that's what it comes down to. It may not be Park Slope,
Right.
but it may be a different neighborhood.
You gotta pick your battles, as they say. You can't be overwhelmed like saying, oh my God,
But
you gotta pick your battles.
But by
There
saying,
is places.
there are places that we can be successful, but other places maybe not. But even in those places that we can't be successful, we should still put our viewpoint out because we should still give an opposition to what's happening out there.
So if you had papers to explain all this, flyers, and in my neighborhood would give them out.
Well, they have websites.
Yeah.
We're in a different
So
era
what
also.
you do when I
We don't
do
need
that,
that
you
papers.
do websites?
No, but we have a website, we have social media. I mean, there are still handouts that people give out,
Yeah, I mean, when the politicians are running, they.
When they're ready to run, they have palm cards, they have
That's
literature
literature.
all the time.
Well, I live very close to Glen. He's in Kensington, I'm across the way. And that neighborhood, it's scary about the politics.
Well, yeah. Look, I created a Kensington Facebook page, right? At an opposition of the other Kensington Facebook page, because they were very far left. I'm not saying there's no leftists on my page, of course there is. There's 5,000 something people on it, right? I built it up, 5,000, but I also control the message. I'm the administrator. So if someone wants to put anti-Trump on it, I'm going to allow it. It goes away. And maybe they go away, too. Because they're violating the rules, because it's supposed to be not only local politics you're going to talk about, not national politics. You see what I'm saying? It's a community page. It's not a platform for your liberalism. Okay? Want to talk about anti-police on my page? Sure, we let it go. Hell no, it's off. I control it. I'm the administrator. I'm a leftist, right?
Why not? They've been doing it for how long?
Right, exactly. I'm the conservative.
This is what
I'm the Republican district leader of
back.
Kensington.
And isn't this one also?
No, this is the conservative party.
Kings County.
No, this is the conservative party, Kings County leader.
And you're from?
I'm Kensington, but I'm talking about I'm in the Republican Party. I'm the district leader. There's district leaders of every assembly district, the male and female. Same thing in the conservative
Yes,
party.
yes.
And the Democrat party. It's the structure of the party. I'm the male leader of the Republican Party since 2013 of Kensington. Parts of Park Slope also, and parts of Windsor Terrace and what have you. Well, parts of Parkville also. So what I'm saying is that, yes, it feels like a dying battle, but you have to think of different ways to combat your message. I thought of that by creating the Facebook page. I'm also president now of the Kensington Historical Society. Usually every liberal is a historical guy, right? Yeah, I know, he's a liberal.
I see that.
So what I'm saying is, they think they could control. Well, I'm saying, no, I like history, I like that. I'm going to get a niche in it. You get a voice, as you're saying. Have a different side of the lecture. Have a different side, different voice out there. This is not the Alamo yet, okay? Yes, it feels like we're at it. We're outnumbered, sure. Does that mean we lay down and die? Yeah. Show the neck, like a dog does in a dog fight. Yeah, I submit. No way. I want to show the difference between the two sides. yes, hide property, we're going to destroy it and burn your house down. No, that's not us. We have a protest, we clean up after ourselves, don't we? Show the contrast. You need to get out there and get your message out there, because at the end of the day, what are we going to do? We live here still, correct? Or we all die and we're in limbo somewhere, and we're in purgatory. We have to fight for your message. Be out there. I'm certainly out there in my job, Brooklyn College. I'm a public safety officer, a sergeant there. I'm out there. I'm out there all over the place. I'm also an auxiliary police sergeant at the 66th precinct. I'm all over the place. You get your message out there. I ran for office. I ran for state assembly in 1998 against Dov Hiken, but also on the Conservative Party line. I ran for a state senate against Kevin Parker in 2008, and I ran for state assembly again in 2016. I guess I have to do the 20s, right?
20s.
I 4 decades. I might as well get it right. So I get my message out there. Did I lose? Sure. Sure I did. But did I not try? I tried. We all have to try. Because if you don't try, it looks like, no, this is, well, everything's great here. Oh, it's the Disneyland of liberalism then. No. We have to get, gotta speak
That's
up.
the number one problem with conservatives, is they keep making excuses, and
Right.
most people won't do anything.
Everyone's
There are
quiet.
more conservatives than what
Sure
show.
there is.
The left, unfortunately, one of their advantages is they show up. They actually get out there and do. Like, conservatives will complain like crazy, and then you start saying, okay, well, here's one tiny, teeny thing you could do. Oh, I can't do that.
Right.
Some of these people will complain and complain and complain, and they refuse to even
Well,
go.
we're all here today, correct?
You paint
Right.
the broad brush,
So
we're all here today.
Right.
Right, but
Well,
So don't say we all complain.
Well, she's giving a generalization,
Yeah, I
to illustrate it.
I'm saying I run into that a lot. Even
Yeah.
people who are on YouTube channels constantly ingesting content, conservative content, and yet they don't even know who their congressperson is. It's like,
Right,
this is bare minimum. You need to look up who your
exactly.
people are. You need to vote, you know.
And then here's the thing, we're all here today, right?
Amen.
So, but are we going to be here in 2020 to
But you-
help Nicole get elected? I hope we'll all go out there to start handing out
When can we
contracts.
legally start helping her? I'm sorry.
You
I mean, you can, she's not really ready for people on the ground yet, because right now she's just going out fundraising a lot.
The early stage.
And showing up at events and that sort of thing. But as we get closer to the election, there will definitely be a need for boots on the ground and people to campaign for her. So I would say keep in contact with Glenn, because we'll be communicating, and he'll definitely know when the time is right for the boots on the ground. But right
We're all
now,
soldiers,
but
guys.
right now, if you can, even if you can contribute a small amount, if you go to our website, which is Nicole, what was it? Nicole for New York?
Yeah.
Nicole for New York. Nicole for New York, that's her website.
We'll
Go to-
post it on the Facebook.
Go to Nicole for New York, and you can give a contribution to her, even if it's a small contribution. That's the way you can help right now. But in the future, definitely she will need some boots on the ground, and when we get to that point, we will let you know.
I already donated to Nicole. She had an event in Bay Ridge with Congressman Dan Crenshaw, I believe.
Correct.
Yeah. So he was there. He came out in support of her, and it was a great event. And the thing is, we have to get the voice out there. Very important, because we're taxpayers. Most of us might be homeowners or renters, which affects everyone. If the homeowners' bills go up, guess what happens to your rent? It goes down. Then you failed economics. No, it goes up. Okay, because I'm a homeowner, and my property taxes have gone up dramatically. My water bill has, gas has doubled. I finally did my taxes.
I'm a renter, but I notice my electric bill seems to be going up.
Yes.
And I don't use much
Because
electricity.
there's all taxes and fees that are in there. that
Your
you don't even
cable
know
bill,
about.
everything is a fee-oriented. Everything's gone up. Banking fees have gone up. Everywhere you look, now you have to maintain a certain amount of money before you get the maintenance fee of $20. I used to have Investors Bank with my political account from when I ran for office. I was like, great, I don't have to pay Great, I don't have to have a minimum balance, wonderful, now boom, I have to have a minimum balance of $2,500 or so. Otherwise, they're going to start charging me $20 or so a month. Why? Before you know it, all the money's gone. Thank you, maintenance fee. What are you, painting my money every month? You know, what is that? Maintenance fee. Thank you, Investors Bank, whoever's watching here on YouTube. I'm just saying that, so I left them and I went to a different bank. And you get to see, I did my voice by shopping to another bank. And by doing that, Santana Bank, they had a lower, I think I had to maintain 500, whatever it was. Lower amount I had to maintain. But they still eventually have fees. You can't escape that no more. And the thing is, unless we're going to be part of that movie from the 1970s, Escape from New York, if we all remember with Ernest Borgnine in it, where New York is a real hell, there's nothing left of it. It's just gangs of New York roaming the places. As Ernest Borgnine drives us around in a checkered cab, for those who might know that movie, we have to fight. Of course, not with violence, but we got to fight. Would you believe it? And get your voice out there. Help these candidates get elected. It's important. They serve your self-interest because they're the ones that will vote for your tax increase or decrease. They're the ones. Do you want someone in a socialistic mindset controlling your purse strings? Hell no. And we see it now in the state legislature. What they're doing, if you're a car owner, they fail to realize that car owners vote too, not just bike riders. They forget that because everywhere you go, there's a speed camera everywhere you're going. Everywhere you're going, there's now going to be a Disneyland entrance fee to Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, wherever the heck they're going to be putting that stupid congestion pricing garbage. So that happened because maybe some of us, not saying anyone in this room per se, but some of us in our mindset might have stayed home. Don't stay home and be contrarian. Don't stay, oh, it doesn't matter. But you're the one complaining about everything.
I mean, something so which somebody might consider minor is, but really not, because it's just another way for them to have a money grab. Now the governor wants you all to get new license plates.
Yeah.
Pay an additional fee for these new license plates. Why? Why all of a sudden do we need new license
No,
plates?
we just had one.
Why do you need to pay these new fees?
Right.
Why? Because he wants another way of grabbing money.
Remember
even though people are moving out of the state, and he says it's because of the climate. It's not because of the weather. It's because of the economic climate. That's why they're leaving. They may be going down south, but it's not really for the weather. It's for the economic climate that's
They rather endure hurricanes than be here, okay? But so at the end of the day, we need to get out there. We have to support these candidates. It's very important. You guys in the Tea Party movement, us, from day one, I spoke at City Hall Park in 2009, that bullhorn, and I spoke from day one. We need to get that voice out there. It's very important. Run for office if you are very motivated to do so. Do it.
If you're interested in running on the Conservative Party line, please see me. I'd be more than
absolutely.
happy. I'll give you all my business cards, so if you want to contact me.
Sure.
Of course, everything goes.
Yeah. Everything is money, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, you need money in order to get your word, to get the word out, to get your message out. There's no other way to do that. I mean, anything that you do is going to cost some money somewhere along the line in order to get the message out, to let people know that you're running.
Yeah, that's the, yes, sir.
Yes, let me find your hand.
Firstly, I really want to second Glenn on that. I think, Glenn, you're doing a tremendous job there. You said everything that I wanted to say exactly how I would want to say. So I really feel, you really, I don't even have to add anything to it, although I would probably just second that.
Thank you.
And like Churchill said, when the height of World War II, when they were, really losing to the Nazis, things would look black. And he used to get up and he said, in the Parliament, British Parliament, he said, things are really bad. But at the end, he always
Never surrender.
But I wanted to ask you a question with regard to the Conservative Party. I always go to vote. I see this always: the Conservative line, the Republican. Sometimes they're the same. Sometimes they're different.
Correct.
Sometimes they're the same all across the board.
Correct.
So that really leads me, what is the Conservative Party doing that's not duplicating the Republican Party? What is the differences between the two parties?
Well, we're two separate parties, first of all.
Right.
Conservative Party is what you call third party within the state, okay?
Right.
And we were established back in 1962, and the reason why we were established was because all the elected officials at that time, including the Republicans, that's the reason why we were established, and the Republicans were very liberal at that time.
Republicans.
So what we was so there are people that said we don't, we have no voice here because everybody's a liberal. The Democrats, the Republicans, everyone's a liberal. So a group of people got together and said, let's form another party, and that's how the Conservative Party established, to bring the Republican Party to the right and to keep it to the right. And not only that, to give a voice to other people. There are some people that want to vote for Republican, but they don't want to vote the Republican line. They rather vote on the Conservative line, and they do that regularly. We get several times our enrollment on the line when people vote, because they're not just registered conservatives voting on our line. There's Democrats, there may be Republicans that are voting on our line. So that was a reason for establishing the Conservative Party, and we feel that we still provide that check and balance to keep things going in the conservative direction. In addition to that, there are times that we don't always support Republicans. There are Democrats that we support. And I named some of the Democrats that we support. Calvin Yeager, Simca Eichenstein. These are Democrats that, they're going to be Democrats. They're not going to change their enrollment, but they're very conservative. So we have endorsed them as well. But our point is to keep things in the right direction, okay? In the conservative direction. That is our role, to continue to do that. So we're a political party. We run political candidates, for office. We're out there speaking on issues, but we're also a movement. And our movement is to keep people and to keep the everything going in the conservative direction.
I get it.
To continue to pull it in and to rein that in.
Okay, I get it. I got a couple more questions on that. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
Anyone else? Yes.
So what I was going to say is, so the Conservative Party welcomes Democrats who want to move more over to the middle or to the right.
To the right, yeah. Sure. We're not. We're welcoming of anybody that is in line with our view. With the conservative view. And there are many people out there that don't necessarily identify them, don't realize they're conservative, but once they think about it and realize where we are on the positions, and Glenn as well, where you are on the position, they say, well, you know what, I really am a conservative, and I really should be going in that direction.
And same thing applies to the Tea Party. The Tea Party always had an open door for Democrats too. Always.
Yeah,
since the founding of it.
you can't limit anybody by what they are registered as, so to speak, if you want to say that. What we're looking at is people and their views and what their views are on issues and concerns. So that's how we look at it. If you're conservative, regardless of whether you have a D or an R in front of your name, if you're an elected official or if you're a candidate running for office, we have to take into consideration where you stand on the issues. That's what's important to us. More often than not, are we supporting Republican candidates? Sure, because more often than not, they're in line with our views. Okay, and I work closely with the chairman of the Republican Party in Brooklyn. We have a very good relationship. But saying that, we are our own party, but at the same time, we are a philosophical movement as well.
And you want to follow up? Okay. Not good.
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead. So that because when you have, is there a Democrat version of the Conservative Party as well, or there is no such thing?
What do you mean, Democrat?
Because we have the Republican Democrat, we have the Conservative. Does the Democrat Party machine, quote unquote, have its own version of the Conservative?
No, they have the version of Stalin.
Well, they have third parties, but it's not.
Wait, I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, the Liberal Party.
I'm not sure what you're saying. Oh, yeah, when you're talking about another third party that they would be aligned with.
Yeah, Workers' Family.
The Workers' Family Party.
That's new.
Yeah, that's usually, more often than not, the Workers' Family Party would be endorsing. Yes, would be endorsing many Democrats, because most Democrats are in line with their view, which is very leftist.
But even mainstream Democrats aren't saying anything about the real leftists.
Well,
They won't.
A lot of people don't know.
Yeah, well, but
Things
I
change
know
so
like one
fast.
guy who lives in
I think a lot.
They know.
I think a lot.
One guy
I think a lot of the mainstream. I think a lot of the mainstream Democrats feel like they don't really have a party anymore. Some of the mainstream.
that's why we have a Democrat walkaway movement. We have a lot of people that walked away and created a movement called Walkaway. We had a speaker here, Christopher Wright, African-American gentleman who was a Democrat, lifelong Democrat. walked away from the party because you've seen how crazy it became or was, but finally had a eureka moment.
So did he become a conservative?
He's a
Oh, yeah.
Republican. Yes, conservative. He spoke with us a couple months back. And there's other people, Brendan Stryker is another one. There's a lot of people that are part of the walkaway movement.
And even the ones that aren't walking away, the ones that are still staying in the party, they still maybe don't want to release themselves from that because it's something that they've been for years and years and years.
Family.
But they will vote a certain way. And actually, the Conservative Party gives them a place to vote because many times they won't want to necessarily vote on the Republican line, but they'll vote on the Conservative line because they feel they're conservative, they feel more comfortable voting there. They may not want to vote as
Republican is just too stigmatized.
Right.
I mean, I'm just saying that gives them an alternative. And for whatever reason, they don't want to, stop aligning themselves with the Democratic Party per se, but they vote a certain
It's
way.
kind of like advertisement, it's all about branding, branding. So they have an outlet they feel the Republicans are for the rich, or whatever that branding message that the Democrats gave us might stuck with them. So now they have an outlet.
And they may just think, I'm a conservative. That's how they're thinking,
Right.
just conservative, So either way, I mean, look, as I said, we work closely with the Republican Party. It's not like we're adversarial at all, but we are separate parties. And on a national level, we definitely work together. I mean, there's no way we're not going to be supporting the same candidate
Right.
for president, that's for sure.
Is the Conservative Party fighting back more than the Republican?
Yes.
But, well, sure. I mean, look, in my opinion, yes, as of a second, we do have a new chairman. Let's give the Republican Party, let's give them a chance also. I'm not saying it's a competition. It's not a competition.
There's no, let's bring it back. There's no competition, and there's nobody fighting more than the other. We're both fighting for similar goals. So, and as I said, I work closely with the Republican chairman in Brooklyn, Teddy Gorder. He's a very good leader. We have a good relationship. So there's no competition there. It's just that we're different parties, and we may do things differently.
Yeah. And the Republican, like I said, the Republican Party, state level, they have a new chairman, Nick Longworthy, and to me, he's at least getting his message out there. He's all over the news, he's on TV, he's in social media. In my opinion, unlike the last chairman, Cox, who was there for 10 years, might be a nice guy, but I really did not hear anything.
And our chairman, Jerry Cassar, is the state chairman of the Conservative Party, has been in communication with your new chairman, Nick Langworthy, and they're going to work together on things because look, we have, especially on the state level, we have a shared agenda. We want to elect a governor that's going to represent us and help bring this state back. So that's going to be something we're going to focus on when that comes up. But prior to that, of course, we're going to look to re-elect our president and to hopefully bring back the state legislature.
And I plan on being a delegate for Donald J. Trump at the Republican convention. Now, of course, they have to pick me, but I already made it quite known that, yes, me. You owed me from 4 years ago. I've been the biggest supporter of Donald Trump since day one. I want to be a delegate representing my congressional district in North Carolina. So hopefully your president of the Brooklyn Tea Party will be at the Republican convention representing our president for renomination in 2020. So hopefully we can accomplish that for our organization to have a representative in the convention. Does anyone else have any other questions? Yes.
In answer to your question, the difference between conservatives and Republicans. A week ago yesterday, I was at a gun show in Middletown, New York, and I bought this hat, and the hat says, "Don't tread on me." It's an early version of the American flag. The rank and file Republican won't wear this hat. The rank and file conservative will wear this hat. I'm a conservative. I do wear this hat. I don't think I'll come across many Republicans wearing this or similar hats. That's it.
I have an NRA hat, a National Rifle Association hat. So I have.
and you're a conservative.
Yeah.
Prove my point. Okay.
We wear many different hats.
But you get, yeah, but you get.
Pun intended.
I try my best.
Very good.
That's a good way to end.
So, nothing else to be said?
I'll say it.
Yeah, you want to sum up?
I'm really very, very ticked off with all these Congress ladies, and nobody says anything.
He's talking
No, I'm
about.
talking about that, yeah.
Talk about the squad.
Yes. We always used to get really, really upset with Obama, the abomination that we had for 8 years. We got upset about it, and it was good. And it got us to do something. And these should be getting us to get up and really give it to the city council, to give it to the state legislature, to give it to your Congress people. Where are they when these people are in the... Give it to Nancy Pelosi, for goodness sake.
Hey, Nancy, why are you making them take over your party?
Why are you allowed?
Why is the Democrat Party a machine? Why is it a machine? I hear, let's say, I've spoken to, we just mentioned before, what was his name again? Not Simfelder, his campaign manager, who now is the city council. Colin Yeager, yeah. So he's his former campaign manager. When I spoke to Colin Yeager, said, well, if you're not registered as a Democrat, you can't vote in the primary, and you can't participate in the city machine. And it's a machine. It's been there since the 1800s like this. Why is that machine something that we have to bear or deal with? Why does it have to be that way? Why can't we sit down, have a normal party, I'll register Republican, I don't have to worry about, so people run as a Democrat or not. That's what I don't understand. And I know with Simfelder ran as a conservative and as a Democrat against the one that we supported, which was in 2012. His original opponent was a Republican, and he took both the conservative and the Democrat line. But he's been, and he's been on all three. So the question is, that's my question. I don't know if it's even a question or.
Well, we wanted to switch over at least, you know. My side of the ledger, become a Republican, join us. Because I think in that regard, if he became a Republican, that would open up the door for the Orthodox Jewish community or the Hasidim to say, oh, let's start having, and then all of a sudden, boom, and boom, we'll have like all of a sudden a lot of seats that we didn't have before on the Republican side of the ledger. You know, where it's a real R.
You mentioned the Orthodox Jewish community. Remember Rochelle Weisberger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she might be upstairs like that. That's right. Because she's usually in the library when we're here. She doesn't come to our meetings anymore due to family problems. But anyway, she said that Bev Hyken, she said he is only good on Israel. He's not good enough on the other.
That's not true.
Well, but Dove's not in office anymore.
Right.
But it's also not true. I would say he's pretty conservative. He's not as conservative as he's as conservative as your typical New York City Republican. I mean, who are not that conservative. I mean, you know, it's hit or miss. Yes, he's strong on Israel, but I wouldn't say that he's spoken out against the Democrat Party. Even when he was still in office, he started doing it.
Yeah.
He started tweeting out, like, what's going on with my party, what's going on with my party. And I think that's part of the reason why he retired. It was like, A, it's time, but B, at that point, I think he was like looking at, am I going to run as a Republican next time? Or am I going to retire? And
I
he was
wish
like,
he would
okay,
have
I'm
done that.
68 or whatever
It would
he
have been
is.
great if he switched parties, because I think we need that. I think we need a brave Democrat on the Democrat side within the Jewish community to switch over, finally. And
Well, if you
say,
look-
I leave the Democrat Party, and this is the reasons why, and I'm declaring that I'm going to be running as a Republican. He will get elected. And then other people will do the same, hopefully.
I mean-
and then we'll have a couple of seats finally in this borough. And then maybe it'll start spreading. It's all about starting somewhere, right? Yes.
Well, what I had been saying, like, before the meeting officially started was, I think one of the key ideas would be instead of trying to go into a dark blue area and try to talk to people there, and this doesn't have to be done during campaign season, go into the pink areas, like the Jewish areas,
and the working class areas and try to strengthen those areas.
Right.
And then work from that way by stopping people and talking to them. And also that means you're going to be less risk of getting beat up. You know, to be completely honest. But I mean...
Well, I'm from Brooklyn, I don't mind a street fight.
I almost got beat up at the Jets game. I was wearing a Jets football jersey and my Jet, and no, I mean like a Trump football jersey and my Trump yarmulke.
Oh boy.
And all the Jets fans almost beat me up, like
that's
like
nice.
60,000 Jets fans.
Oh, they're good.
Don't go
Why am I
to
trying-
Democrat games anymore,
That's why I'm a Giant fan.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, there's probably, there are a lot of people in New York City who have conservative views, but we have to find these people and we have to talk, like,
I guess they just
you-
didn't
you-
come out.
Well, you need to talk
Yeah.
to them, you're right. And one of the ways, in this day and age, to talking to them is social media. That's the way to
well,
do it.
one of the problems
But
with
that's,
that,
but that's one of the ways to get the word out, because most people are on some sort of social media, it's, somewhere along the line.
okay, but one of the problems with social media is that the companies are basically like making it so if they mark you as a conservative, people don't see your messages.
Oh, yeah, no,
Well,
but you
that's
have
why
to-
there's a lawsuit
But you have
that
to
just
fight
came
it,
out.
you have to fight against that. I mean, there are even advertisements that we try to put out in the Conservative Party that the Facebook won't
Sure.
allow us to put on.
I think that's
But we-
one of the...
But we fight back on that.
Socialism.
But we fight back on that and eventually get them put on. So you have to, you can't allow them to just say, to control the situation. They have control because it's their platform, right? It's their platform, right? But at the same time, when they do something like that, you have to fight back, and we have fought back. The only reason why I bring that up is because this is great that we're all sitting in this room here today, but let's be frank, we're only getting to the people that are here. Yes, you're videoing this, but where's it going to go?
Right.
It's going on social media,
Right.
Because you're gonna. How many people are you going to reach on social media? 10, 20, 100 times more, 1,000 times more than
Right.
what you have here, right?
Right.
So that's my point. So that's how you have to get your message out somehow. That's one of the ways to get it out, so that people that are conservative-minded, are like-minded, are going to see this message and say, hey, there's other people out there that think the way I do. I'm going to maybe I can do something. Maybe I can align myself somehow.
Yes, those out there looking, we exist, okay? And it's very important that we get out there and get our message out there. Fight, like she was mentioning about the Facebook, when they're not getting your message, fight back. Also, there is, I believe, an antitrust thing happening because of that type of situation now, where there's, I think they had in the Capitol steps about 40 attorney generals within different various locales, speaking about how they're going to be putting a case against these major corporations that are stymieing messages from the right.
I mean, another way is, look, you have email, right? Create some kind of email list, get some kind of email list together. Constantly email it out. I mean, that's another way.
another idea I've had that I've tried to share with people and it hasn't really taken hold, but one thing conservatives could do is, there's people that I have had falling outs with who I know are fairly conservative in their mindset because I've had conversations with people I used to be friends with. I think one idea is I could give all those email addresses to some other conservative in New York City. They could email those people. They don't know that it came from me. He says
You can't
no.
distribute other people's emails.
It's a problem with spam.
Spam.
But it's a good idea nonetheless.
No, I understand what you're saying. You can't just give
Why don't we break into their house, steal their address book, and get all the information on people they know?
Well, we don't like jail.
No.
Martin?
This gentleman gives the people of New York City a lot more credit than they deserve, because nobody should be apprehensive about wearing a hat that says "Don't tread on me."
That's right.
Because if you go to the average person and ask them what is that about, they'll say that means don't step on banana peels.
On what?
On banana peels.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
What kind of a
But
hat are you wearing today?
we're supposed to have a rim
Curious.
shot, I guess. Yes, sir.
To the best of my knowledge, the only news outlet that broadcasts PSAs about advocating conservatism and republicanism is Fox News. That's a shame and a disgrace, because public service announcements are public. They come under the fairness doctrine. They should be on ABC, NBC, CBS. They should be everywhere. Public service announcements advocating conservatism and republicanism should be broadcast out there as PSAs. I only see them on Fox News. That's a failure of the Republican Party, and that's a failure of the Conservative Party.
Somebody else to sue.
Hey, keeps the lawyers in business, right?
Well, I'm not advocating lawsuits. I'm advocating activism.
Right.
You know, what is it that why is the Republican Party holding back? And I'm not talking about re-elect Trump ads. Their time will come, and that's fine, and I'll be behind them. But I'm saying PSAs explaining the points, the policy points, the platform of the Republican Party, the policy points of the Conservative Party.
Exactly.
I'm not seeing them on PSAs, only on Fox News. So when what's her name, you know, was it Kamala Harris lambasted Fox News? Oh, President Trump probably just turned on Fox News. The reason Fox News has to take the brunt is Fox News is the only one fighting back. I don't even see PSAs. And PSAs are considered neutral in the sense that they're for the public benefit. They're public service announcements. And under the fairness doctrine in broadcasting, all news outlets should equally broadcast all points of view.
Right. Exactly. So what do we do?
Get after the heads of the parties.
And where are they?
I'm one of them, that's it.
Okay.
She's one of them.
There you go. I hear you.
You're a leader.
I hear you.
Okay.
And this is not a personal criticism. I'm very glad you're here speaking.
Yes.
I'm not-
This is not a personal criticism.
Now, when you mean public service announcement, give me an example.
What he's saying is like, let's say you have, I even see it on a local news channel. Sometimes the station will put out an opinion.
We'd like to know, like.
Whatever the
11
opinion
years
is.
ago.
And then what he's saying is, well, if that opinion is different, there's another side to that opinion, then somebody else should be able to come on and give the other side to that view.
Right, okay.
A basic explanation. A public service announcement is a basic explanation of a point that's cloudy or, you know, in quandary. It's an explanation. That's what a PSA should be.
Okay. You were.
Yeah. So firstly, to the people who are watching, listening, and us, of course, there was a late Orthodox outspoken rabbi. His name was Rabbi Miller, and he passed away a number of years back. But he and his congregation were much larger than our group here. Yet every single week he had them writing letters, and they used to write letters even to whatever politicians they might be, Republicans, Democrats. They used to talk, one of the main issues was the death penalty. They were in a blue state like New York, but they were for reinstating the death penalty. They were for anti-gay marriage, all these social values, anti-taxes, of course, and they used to write letters. Now you would think, what is a small group of people writing letters doing anything at all? Well, it just size for getting the post office a little richer, but other than that, but he said there were results. Their politicians used to write back. When you have a vocal group of people and getting in contact with just with every on a regular basis, it makes an effect. It really does. You see that from the left, and we have to do it as well. It doesn't matter who you are. I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to everybody here.
Well, yeah, you got to learn from your opponents, okay? If they're doing something right, don't just sweep it under the rug to think, well, they're liberals, they're leftists. Well, if they're getting their point across, learn how they're doing it and do it better, okay? We got to do that. I know we have things going against us when we have the media basically in the pocket of them, but there's different forms of media, and we proved it through YouTube. For example, who would ever think that from being on YouTube or whatever that you could actually be a star somehow on YouTube? For example, my niece is on YouTube. She's a YouTube channel, not political, nothing political. Funny stuff, little skits. She works out. She's like a weightlifter and all that. But she has over 1 million followers, and she gets paid for this through YouTube. She don't even work. She has a job on YouTube. What I'm saying is that you could do it. There's ways of doing it. Of course, we have to find out how and do it. But
But you're right.
is what
YouTube is a
Yeah.
prime example of doing something that's relatively inexpensive. It is inexpensive.
Yeah, I have a channel.
And,
but
right,
it's-
and, but I'm saying, but that's a way to get the word out, you know?
you could circumvent media, the old form of media very easily.
One of the problems with YouTube is the fact that you run into, again, YouTube itself, like they have suggested videos on the side. When I first started watching political YouTube, I started very gradually in 2014, and I used to watch all the suggested stuff, and it used to suggest, I started with Tommy Lahren, and it would suggest similar stuff on the side. But now what they do is you can watch nothing but right-leaning stuff, and they suggest all left-leaning stuff on
And
the
maybe
side.
that's hopefully that lawsuit that is going to be put out there will hopefully address that. And maybe finally we'll have that corrected. We'll have to start somewhere. So hopefully that's a movement moving towards that direction with that antitrust case that's going to go against Facebook. I believe.
Is that the one Josh Hawley's involved with?
I think so. It just came out recently. It's a new thing they're pushing forward for that antitrust thing about content, about suppression of content. So hopefully that will be addressed through the Attorney General. Yes, anything else?
I would just want to add one more thing, that the American Revolution began in print, with people printing the anti-British message, and that's how it really started out. It was meetings like these amongst the Congress people who originally founded the Continental Congress. But I'll have to say that previous comment I just made is aimed a lot at myself. I should really be publishing a lot more on the website because I have that option. If anyone here wants to do that as well, I'm also open to it.
What's your website?
BrooklynTeaParty.org. We have that.
Your website.
Yeah.
And if you want to, you can speak to Glenn. He will help get you editorial permissions, allow us to confirm anything that you write. And
Yeah, we just want to make sure you're not saying, hi, I represent the Brooklyn Tea Party and we are whatever.
So Glenn has to.
We don't promote hate.
Can you feed videos into that?
What?
Can you
Yes, you
feed
can.
video? Oh, okay. So I might.
So you definitely can do
I
that.
never even
Yeah,
heard of it.
it's, but we have to make sure, like, once again, we don't promote hate, so
So Glenn
we're not going to be
moderates
doing
that.
that.
Glenn has moderated.
You kill every message that you think you're for when you start doing that. It does not accomplish anything, trust me. You just become a fringe psychotic group. We're not that. So we're here for making sure hardworking New Yorkers of every stripe, whoever the heck you are, you want to be a part of our organization and make sure we live in a safe city, a city where we're not taxed to death. Come on board and make sure we live in that type of society, because you can't, there's not that many of us, as you say, right? It seems like you have to branch out to everywhere. You have to. Why wouldn't you want people, let's say you don't agree with, to all of a sudden agree with you? Wouldn't that be nice? All of a sudden, the people that you think were sick weirdos, all of a sudden, oh, well, I agree with them.
I think
Do
there
you
are
want
a
to
lot-
be in a hostile setting and yelling?
I think there are a lot, just to your point, Glenn, that there are a lot of people out there that don't realize that they agree with you.
Right.
They don't realize until they start thinking about all these different issues and saying, hey, you know, you're right, you make a lot of sense, and I'm on your side. So, and you won't know that unless you speak to these people.
Right, because when you put up these pitfalls, these
Barriers.
barriers, there you go. If you put up these barriers, everyone's going to have the preconceived notion of what you're about, and you're going to have the same thing to what they're about, and nothing will ever be accomplished, will it? Oh, this group is about this. They're going to say this group is about hate. And then what you're all trying to accomplish at the end of the day is live in a society where we're not strangled by government, correct? So all of a sudden, your opposition, because of whatever various reasons in your mind, all of a sudden, if you don't put up those barriers and you talk to one another, we're New Yorkers. They agree with you. Oh my God, how scary that would be, would it? No, it wouldn't. It'd be glorious, wouldn't it? Because now what you believe in, all of a sudden, they believe in. Because they really believed in what you believed in. But no one could come together because you all had pitfalls and barriers. Why is that necessary? It's not necessary at all. So we need to look past certain things in all of our lives.
Yeah, I
And,
actually,
you know?
I went out for coffee at one point, like a month or two ago, with one of these like Democrat activists, not far left though,
Mhm.
who lives in my neighborhood. And even like I've said stuff to her like, immigration didn't used to be a partisan issue, and she agreed with me. She's like, yeah, it didn't. And I showed her, it was right after that DSA video came out, and I showed it to her, and she was just like, she basically admitted, like, she didn't recognize what was happening to her party. She, you know, you could tell that she feels...
Infiltrated.
Exactly. So we have to find these people who are like moderates, who either don't know what's going on, or know, and maybe they just feel helpless, and start to talk to them, talk about... One thing is, I think these people that go out and they're just like, Trump, Trump, I think that is a mistake. You have to talk actual policy. If you say Trump, Republican, either one of those words, people shut down. But if you start talking policy, you can probably get a lot more leeway, especially with moderates.
Well, you have to know your audience. I like saying Trump, 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 that's me. But I understand what you're saying. Know your audience. If you're at a rally, you're going to say it.
But why are people going
But
into Manhattan and
Yeah.
waving around Trump flags? And
Well,
what does it do? It does nothing. It makes us look like retards.
No, that's not true. I don't think so. I think he has a message, and the issue that his message is...
No, not
making
Trump
everybody-
itself. You're saying, she's not saying,
Right. No,
you're not
I'm
saying
talking
Trump
about...
itself. She's just saying by doing that type of action, are we gaining converts? Is that what you're trying to say?
Exactly. If we're going to do activism, go out and talk to people. Don't just get 5, 10 people to go out on a street corner and wave Trump flags. What does that do?
That's not so true. I think if he stands for something, he stands for what pretty much what gets them upset. And by waving the Trump flags, that's one surefire way of saying we believe in what he stands for.
Yeah, that is a school of thought here. Also, by doing that, I understand what you're saying, but by doing that, it also shows other people that, hey, from when you see all these psychotic left doing their protest and everywhere you go, and you're like, oh my God, everyone is thinking this. And all of a sudden you say, oh wow, Trump. I'm like, oh, there's other people that... So that there is, I think, some sort of benefit to that, but I understand where you're coming from in the general sense of what you're saying. But there's also some sort of benefit for doing that too, because there's also people that think they're lost. There's nowhere, I don't see anything. Oh my God, everywhere I go, there's an Antifa rally. Everywhere I go, oh my God, what? There's a Trump thing? What? Where am I? So that there is some little benefit. Is it an overall benefit that you can gain a lot of? No.
But
But there is a
it doesn't mean you can't do both.
Right. Exactly.
What I'm used to seeing in my area, in the Midwood area, you'll see there's these Hebrew lettering that says Trump in Hebrew letters, 2020. You'll see that in 2016 also, but you'll see the constantly all over bumper stickers that say that, because people are afraid to get out with the Trump in the English version, so they'll put the Hebrew.
Well, my house was egged. They robbed the sign out of my garden, so you know what I did? I folded, I got cameras, and I now made sure I replaced that sign because I had a whole bunch of them, so more came, right? And now that I have cameras, try it again.
So if you see Hebrew letters with 2020, you know what those.
Exactly right. Yes.
I've had a lot of political conversations in restaurants, barbershops, hardware stores, discount drugstores. Very often it comes from the kind of hat I wear. If I'm not wearing that, I'm wearing my U.S. Army Veterans hat or Second Amendment hat or Build the Wall hat. And a lot of the conversations I have in these places are based upon someone noticing my hat. And I'm very civil, I'm very polite, I'm very helpful, and the conversation usually ends up in my inviting this person or people, plural, to this meeting. Now, so far, no one has come, but it isn't through my lack of effort.
Thank you.
So I make the effort to reach out, talk to people. Very often it's, thank you. Very often it's
It has the attention.
caused by this hat or one of my other hats, even my veteran's hat. You know, and people say, well, what are you, or why do you believe that way, or why do you wear that hat, or does that hat cause trouble for you? But it's a springboard to a conversation that I always handle very politely and very civilly. And if they have a genuine interest in finding out what conservatives stand for, or the Tea Party stands for, or, you know, originalism, in interpretation of the Constitution, or Gorsuch, or you know, I say, well, if you want to find out more about your questions, and these are good questions, please come to our next Tea Party meeting. It's usually in Midwood at the library on Ocean and Kings Highwood, but please come. You know, we'd love to have you. Now, so far nobody has come, but again, I have tried, and if they want to come, they've heard it from me, they can come. And I just hope that each of you, all in your own way, are making a similar effort. We can't be, you know, the 12 or 15 or 18 people who show up every month and expect to change the world. Right. We change the world as people are added to us, and people are added to us as we make human effort. I'm not a great believer in social media. I'm not on social media. Part of the reason is I'm a baby boomer. To me, it's just, a lot of it is nonsense, so I'm not on social media. But I believe in face-to-face, I believe in conversations, I believe in approaching people, I believe in putting myself out there, making myself a little bit vulnerable and talking to people. I know all of you are better at social media than I am, and that's great. Please continue. Please continue.
I do the same thing like you. I hate with social media, they change it up, or they think they're other people are better than them, and they keep changing.
But it doesn't mean you can't do both. It doesn't mean you can't
do both.
True.
I think
the message that I'm trying to give is you got to do it all. You got to do it all. You got to do face-to-face contact. You got to do phone calls. You got to do website. You have to do email. You have to do regular email. You have to do social media. You have to do it all, because there are many people out there that are getting their information from different places.
And I think it's a good point that I don't know your name.
Bill.
That Bill brings up, because some of us who don't participate in social media kind of feel like stigmatized. Why, you don't do that? And I like face-to-face rather than Facebook. When that was a good way.
Or you can put your face in a book.
Yeah, I hear you, and we do a lot of Facebook. We have meetings. I mean, why do we have meetings? Right? I have meetings with my organization. Why do you have meetings? You have meetings so you can have face-to-face contact with people, right? So there are many ways to do it. It's not like just do this and don't do the other. Right. You should try to do everything as much as you can. And everybody has their own expertise in whatever area.
And speaking of Facebook, this week we have 4 new members on the Brooklyn Tea Party Facebook page. And talking about we don't promote hate. I approve most of the posts that are coming in. I've been inviting concerts from around the country. Some put in like 4 at one time. Now, I'm not going to approve all 4 at the same time, because it'll be the Mr. Smith Facebook page, not the Brooklyn Tea Party. So sometimes I wait until another person has something, and I put a few more that I don't want the same name to pop be in a row. And also, I have been getting some anti-Jewish, anti-Islamic,
All right, I'll put that. Sorry.
It goes down the drain.
Yeah.
Only once
you can't have hate at all. I mean,
you do that with the Tea Party.
Huh?
How does that attract that quality from the Tea Party?
It's not the Tea Party.
The Facebook.
It's a leftist person who's hoping to get out.
Infiltrators.
Someone sent in some big stuff. One time,
We have a Facebook page.
one time I couldn't
You mean
figure
the
out-
group or the page? I think you mean the group.
The Facebook
Group.
I think you mean the group.
You're doing the group. We have a page too with 5,000 members on it.
Yeah, but if any kind of picture, it'll be rejected. One time I couldn't figure out what the guy was talking about, but when I saw cross-reference, they looked good, and I approved it. And then I started getting complaints, and
I called Control right away. I said, Control, did you really look at it? Just look what it's saying. I forget what it was, to be honest with you. No idea. But whatever it was, think it was against Republicans, whatever it was.
I couldn't figure out what he was ranting about, but I saw some
I don't
nice
remember what it was.
cross references.
Whatever it was weird, and it should have never improved.
And then this is actually
You
today.
can't figure out what they're talking about. That's like, I
Right,
need
then
to like.
delete it.
But I see some
Yeah,
nice
you know.
cross references. I was like, oh, I see some nice cross references
No,
here.
no, when it's complicated like that.
So we can continue our meeting for the benefit of the film here. We need to wrap this piece up.
Yes, let's do
Fran, can you please tell us how people can get in contact with you, your webpage, your Facebook, and your phone numbers?
Right. Our phone number is 718-921-2158. We have a Facebook page that says brooklynconservatives.com. That's our website, brooklynconservativeparty.com. Our Facebook page, you can find us at Brooklyn Conservative Party on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. So just put in Brooklyn Conservative Party, you'll find us on all the social media. As I said, our webpage is brooklynconservativeparty.com, and our phone number is 718-921-2158. I want to thank you all for inviting me. Thank you, Glenn, very much for inviting me. Glenn and I have known each other for many years, and I hope to continue that good relationship. And I want to thank you all for listening this afternoon. And please let's move forward. Let's continue the fight and keep it up. Thank you.
Okay, we do a couple pictures with Trell and